So we have three really great speakers today. I'm going to allow Cherise and Fernando to introduce themselves, and then we're going to turn it over to Michael.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Cherise Urioste-Martinez. I'm very happy to be here today. Thank you, Jesse, for asking us to participate today. I am actually 1 month into my position here with New Mexico Main Street. I am the Community Economic Development Specialist. In my prior work, I worked at New Mexico Finance Authority as well as ran the Tax Incentive Program over at the Energy Conservation and Management Division. So I have a little bit of knowledge of that, but I'm not as knowledgeable as my better half, Fernando Martinez, and I will go ahead and pass it along to him.
Don't believe her. She's the brains behind every operation at work and at home. But Fernando Martinez, I'm the Deputy Director at the New Mexico Finance Authority. Prior to joining Finance Authority about a year ago, I was formerly a Bureau Chief of Drinking Water, Bureau Chief of the Hard Rock Mining Program, the Director of the Energy Conservation Management Division, the Director of the Mining Minerals Division, and the Executive Director of the Renewable Energy Transmission Authority. So broad-based experience in terms of infrastructure of all sorts from water to energy, and happy to be here and thank all of you for providing me the opportunity to speak with Cherise on a great idea she had to present to you. So we'll get more into that in our presentation. Thank you.
Awesome. So I'm going to turn it over to Michael.
Thank you. Wow, that's an impressive career, Mr. Martinez. I am inspired. Hoping y'all get some good inspiration out of this presentation. I'm gonna share a introductory video that gives some context about the New Mexico Community Solar Program. And I'll be able to kind of dive into a little bit more details once that video is going. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, let's see. Oh, I gotta give a permission here. Okey-dokey. All right, well, hoping this will work. I don't know if I'll have to log back in real quick to make it work, but I think we got it. Okay.
Looks good.
Great. Okay, hoping that the audio comes through. If not, please somebody give me a shout out and we'll reset the setting.
Oh. Looks like the audio is not coming through.
Okay. Try this one more time. Sharing. Share. Share sound. That's it. Okay. Thank you for your patience.
No worries. Thank you.
In the land where ancient peoples once tracked the sun's journey across turquoise skies, a new relationship with solar energy is taking root. This is New Mexico, where community solar gardens are writing the next chapter in our centuries-old connection to the sun. For generations, our state's fortunes have risen and fallen with extractive industries. Community solar offers a different path, one where prosperity is as renewable as the resource it harnesses. Each subscriber saves 10 to 28% on their community solar bill credits without any upfront cost. Rural landowners gain steady income from previously marginal land, and unlike the boom and bust cycles of the past, these economic benefits flow like the Rio Grande, steadily and sustainably. Every megawatt installed creates approximately 15 to 20 construction jobs and 1 to 2 permanent positions, work that cannot be outsourced and isn't vulnerable to market volatility. In this arid land where every drop of water is precious, solar power operates virtually water-free, a stark contrast to conventional power plants that consume millions of gallons daily. Each community solar garden prevents approximately 1,000 tons of carbon dioxide per megawatt annually from entering our atmosphere, a small but crucial step toward healing our relationship with this land that sustains us. When thoughtfully designed, these installations can actually enhance biodiversity, creating habitat corridors and improving soil health, turning energy production from an extractive practice to a regenerative one. Our existing grid faces challenges: aging infrastructure, limited rural capacity, vulnerability to extreme weather. Community solar addresses these weaknesses by generating power close to where it's used, reducing transmission losses, and increasing resilience. For communities that have historically been underserved by our energy system, these projects represent more than clean power. They're about energy justice and self-determination. The Solstice Community Solar Program ensures that at least 50% of each project serves low-income households and service organizations, ensuring that the transition to renewable energy lifts all communities. Our ancestors built with the sun in mind: adobe walls absorbing heat by day and releasing it by night, portals providing shade in the summer while welcoming winter warmth. Today's community solar continues this tradition of living in harmony with our climate. Like the centuries-old acequia systems that distribute water through communal governance, community solar shares the sun's abundance through collective participation, an approach that feels both innovative and deeply familiar in this land of ancient wisdom. As these energy gardens take root across our high deserts and mountain valleys, they weave together the best of our past and our future, honoring traditional knowledge while embracing innovation, creating prosperity while protecting the land. This is more than an energy transition, it's a return to balance, a remembering of our place within the natural world. Community solar isn't just changing how we power our homes, it's illuminating a path toward the future our ancestors would recognize and our children deserve. So thank you for entertaining your attention with that. Really to give some context around what distinguishes community solar in the context of clean energy development throughout the state, right? Because we have rooftop solar, we have utility scale solar that the utility companies are putting forward. So community solar is a distinct alternative pathway for connecting New Mexicans to clean energy. So the Community Solar Act of 2021 was signed into law by Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham in 2021. We have seen 4 years of deliberation between the utility companies and PRC for this program to actually launch, and we are finally starting enrollments this year. This act allows residential, small businesses, nonprofit, governmental, tribe, and pueblo, and certain educational customers the ability to purchase energy through a subscription from a community solar facility. So essentially, because economies of scale allow solar farms to produce energy at a cheaper rate, we're able to extend those savings to consumers, which is businesses and all these other organizations, through the Community Solar Act. So that's the general concept of the program. In order to maintain integrity and ensure consumer protections, the PRC assigned a program administrator, which is Inclime. This is their website. So Inclime Inc. is the program administrator. There are 3 subscription managers that the PRC approved for the first phase of this program. So Solstice is the program that I represent, and we are the only subscription manager that's currently active. We have 16 projects that are under construction right now. The other subscriber that has some capacity has a project in El Paso Electric. Arcadia, which manages SunShare, we have heard maybe pulling out of the market just because of some challenges that they're seeing in the interconnection stuff. So ultimately, what Solstice does is we provide education and we provide support around the subscription process for New Mexicans to access this program. So I'm just going to pull up another little presentation here that has the basics about that. So essentially, can you see the presentation? What is community solar now? Okay,
Yes.
thanks. Cool. So yeah, essentially we have a large scale solar farm that sends energy through the grid, through the transmission lines to utility accounts of households and businesses. So there's no equipment that has to be installed in the house, and there's no upfront cost for the folks who subscribed. But ultimately they receive solar credits on their bill, which helps them to have reduced energy costs overall. So as the video shared, 50% of subscribers for this program this is Solstice's requirement, have to be low income. And so low income households can receive 28% discount on the bill credits that are applied for the community solar subscription that they access. So really amazing program. Honestly, my main challenge is convincing people that it's not a scam. That, I have so many people ask, what is the catch, right? Because it seems too good to be true. Like there's no enrollment fee. There's you can apply for this program in continuity, like, just continue applying each year. So the reason why this works is because the Community Solar Act bypassed the constraint of a utility monopoly that PNM is able to set the rates that they want for customers. And now that community solar developers can essentially transmit energy through the grid at a cheaper cost, we can extend those savings to households and businesses. So this is what it looks like for low-income households. For small businesses, which we call mass market, and also nonprofits, educational institutions, tribal organizations, we see a 10% discount. So if we see $100 in solar credits on the electric bill, we discount that by 10%. So same kind of concept, but it's a different discount rate for small businesses versus low-income households. But if we look at a electric bill that's $300, you get $280 in community solar credits. Those are discounted by 10%. And so their overall bill ends up being $274. And the reason is we still have a balance from the PNM bill because there's fees and riders like the transportation rider. There's different kinds of charges that are associated to the utility account that community solar can't cover. And also the utility has to charge a small administrative fee. It's like basically covering the work of doing the paperwork. So overall, there's only savings on the bill. And for a customer to essentially have the choice to say, I want to get my energy from solar power and I want to get it at a discounted rate, that's what the opportunity is with community solar. So that's the general program overview. And I just wanted to show what the enrollment process looks like, because it takes about 10 minutes to complete the connection to the utility account. And this is the platform that enables businesses and households to learn about the program, to get connected to resources, to be able to see what potential savings they can access, and also to experience and hear from other folks that have accessed community solar around the country, so that as we're talking about here, like being able to build trust with folks so that they can understand what this program is and get the most out of it. So we have the access to the different links related to the utility connections and the incline portal. As I mentioned, that PRC assigned that administrator for the program. And as people go through the enrollment process, as I say, a real simple connection to the utility account that's assigned directly to the meter on the property. So folks who are renting, which is a lot of businesses, right, are renting their facility, they're not able to connect a rooftop solar system to their house, to their structure, but they can connect to community solar. If they don't have enough sun, like there's a lot of shade around their property, they can connect to community solar. Different financial constraints. These are the opportunities that enable businesses to be part of the clean energy revolution that's happening in New Mexico and experience economic benefits, and basically to empower economic resilience. So, yeah, ultimately it's really straightforward experience on the enrollment. Really just we can do either a manual bill connection with like a screenshot of the utility bill, or we can directly well, it might not let me do that. So we can also connect directly to the utility account through the Kubra, just like folks pay their utility bills online. And so, we have a commercial setting here that, gives us the capacity to go all the way through here and pick our utility company, which we have in New Mexico 3 utility territories that are participating. Xcel Energy, which is SPS, PNM, and El Paso Electric, which is EPE. So those 3 utilities ended up signing on for this first phase of the program. And, we put in the address information, and ultimately that gets us to the point where we connect the utility account. So,
Wow.
I'm just gonna kind of just keep going through this process so y'all can see what it looks like, but I would love to just, open the conversation for some questions as I'm going along right now.
That's so interesting. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
Main Street America, the National Main Street Association, released their survey results from the spring small business profile survey recently, and they said that half of respondents reported a decline in profits. So 10% back in their pockets would be, pretty significant for some of
Yep.
these businesses. So,
Yep.
does anyone else have any questions or comments?
So there's some restrictions. Folks can't have solar panels already installed on their property to access the program. They can't be enrolled in budget billing. They can't already be subscribed as community solar. Basically just things that like we don't have people double dipping, so to say. And ultimately this process leads us through connection to a farm. So we get assigned to one of the community solar farms. Reynolds Farm is being built in Tularosa. It's going to be energizing in the fall of 2025. So that's really why we're here getting the word out to folks is, as these farms capacity fill up, we have for this first phase 200 megawatts. It's limited capacity. So we want to make sure that local businesses can take advantage of the program as the capacity is available. And
Awesome.
all of the yes, go ahead.
Go ahead and you have your hand raised, Borellis.
Hi, I have a quick question. Is there a contract and how long is it? And is there like if someone opts into it, is there a grace period where they can cancel?
Yeah, so in my slide in the presentation, I had a little note about requesting 90 days notice. It's really not a requirement that's written into the contract. It's just a kind of a matter of convenience for our work in managing the subscription because we have to fill that spot, right? And having some time to do that is helpful. So there's no there's no grace period that's required. If someone joins on and they have to cancel, we take care of that. And ultimately, the contract itself is you want to know like how many pages is it, or how
Um,
long is the subscription term?
yeah, how long is the subscription term?
Right. So the subscription is annual and with the option to renew each year. So basically, once you get assigned your capacity, you have that secured, right? So as long as the subscriber confirms, yes, I'd like to continue my subscription, that can continue year after year.
Okay. And is there a penalty if they don't give the 90-day grace period?
No,
Okay.
no. No, there's no, if they don't, basically if they stop, like if they move homes or cancel their utility account, that gets a flag in our system and the subscription basically gets canceled.
Oh, okay.
That's ultimately how it happens in terms of the system itself. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Michael, we have two questions in the chat. I'll read them to you.
Great.
Christina from Borellis asks, do we have an ETA for when construction will be completed on this solar farm?
Yeah, so we have our farms are rolling out in operation dates starting in as soon as August. So August, September, October, November, we're just gonna have, as I said, we have 16 projects right now that are already under construction. So we're gonna be they'll be rolling out throughout the next year. We have one of the projects is like 80% full already, so they end up filling up quickly. And yeah, but the fact that the projects are continuing to roll out is, good news for as much as we can educate and get the word out to New Mexican businesses that they can take advantage of it for within the next year for sure.
Oh, great. And then
Yeah.
Charla from Silver City asks, this is very interesting. Thank you. What is the billing type dual billing? And as a customer, how does the bill payment work?
Yeah, thanks for asking about that. I'm gonna go ahead and switch my screen share just back to that presentation because we showed a little I don't know if it's switched. Okay, so here on the bill, it looks like a PNM bill showing the bill credits, the community solar credits. We were not able to get PNM to agree to having unified consolidated billing. This is how it is in most of the country. Utilities essentially just keep the entire electric utility experience on one bill, but PNM, El Paso Electric, SPS, they weren't willing to do that this first round. So that's why we have dual billing in New Mexico. And so what that looks like is we have community solar credits. We discount the PNM bill by $280. Those credits move over to the community solar bill, and those are discounted at 10%. So just like we have, most folks are paying their PNM bill online or have it on auto pay, it would be the exact same experience with Solstice. And that's why we have the enrollment happening on the Solstice page so that we can keep that experience of the payment portal all unified there.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, great. Well,
Cool.
we'll turn it over to Cherise and Fernando. Thank you so much, Michael. That was so great.
Great. Awesome. I'm just going to put the link in for everybody to be able to check out the page there. And also my contact information if anybody wants to reach out for further inquiries. Thanks so much for your attention and for the opportunity to present here.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Michael. What a wonderful presentation and definitely interesting indeed. It's great to see that more community farms are in the process right now. So that's great. Due to a very unwanted illness that is still lingering for me, this is leading to the very ungraceful vocals that I have right now. So I do apologize. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to Fernando. And if you all could please just nod your head or thumbs up that you can see our screen.
Looks good.
Awesome. Thank you, Jesse.
Okay, well, thank you, and really appreciated that presentation as well. I think community solar fits in very well with other state initiatives to build transmission and energy storage capacity, our move towards zero carbon electricity, and increasing wind and solar production. Hang on a second, I have a little helper here. That's Mom can do my presentation. Sorry, that's my little girl. Our little girl. But what I just wanted to say with that is when you take all these initiatives in, you know, whether it's building transmission capacity, building energy storage capacity, building massive amounts of solar and wind farms that are producing energy for use in the state and out of state as well, and um, promoting clean fuels and implementing energy efficiency and conservation projects, this really has a ripple effect for economic development across New Mexico. Not only does it bring in billions of dollars of capital investment into the state and thousands of jobs, but it also makes us more competitive from an energy standpoint because we have now built energy infrastructure into this state, and we now have low cost, reliable, resilient energy that puts us at a competitive advantages when you compare to other states. So really appreciate the thing on the community solar, because that's a piece of the puzzle as well. And I'm glad that it'll offer people opportunities to save on their bills. And so that's what Cherise and I wanted to talk about today, is just how we can finance efficient and cost-saving buildings that also offer environmental, social, and governance benefits across the state. So that's part of it. And I want to just start off by briefly talking about the New Mexico Finance Authority and what we do there. We have a lot of programs. We're a broad-based finance agency that was created in 1992 as a government instrumentality. We're getting close to about 80 staff now. We're governed by an 11-member independent board, and we have a very active committee process that's going to provide a high level of oversight of our diverse and complex operations. Currently, we have 25 programs that we run through 13 acts. And it's all about planning and financing state and local projects. And we also work with the Economic Development Department on the statewide Economic Development Finance Act and a lot of other programs as well. But some of the relevant ones we'll talk about today, that one of the relevant ones we're going to talk about today is going to be the Public Project Revolving Fund, as well as a new effort that we have with the New Mexico Energy, Minerals, and Natural Resources Department on the energy efficiency revolving loan fund. And we also have a new local solar access fund that we got $20 million for in the legislature, that we're putting that program together, standing it up now. But we also have other programs like Opportunity Enterprise that covers commercial buildings, as well as affordable housing and workforce housing. So with that, I'll talk about the Energy Efficiency Revolving Loan Fund. And this is a program that we kicked off just last week. It started back in 2022 when the funds were being made available. The Energy, Minerals, and Natural Resources Department applied for it back in 2023, finally awarded the funds in 2024, and then we put this together now in early 2025. And since it is a revolving loan fund, it's going to provide money into perpetuity. And if you go to the next slide, please. So what this is who's eligible for this. It's available to all private, nonprofit, and for-profit entities with buildings that are used for a public or a community benefit, whether it's healthcare, an educational facility, recreational, cultural facility that just provides some level of benefit to a local community. There are some criteria that you got to meet to qualify for this to be an eligible entity, but mainly it's just that you're an entity that's going to do the majority of the businesses in New Mexico. If we could go to the next slide, please. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. My helper here is giving me some advice on the presentation here. But essentially what you can have here is just loans that can be in the amount from anywhere from $250,000 to $1 million. The loan term is based on the useful life of the project. We do have a fixed rate of 2% on this. And, we can have a contribution that's either in cash or in kind of 5%. And of course, the Energy, Minerals, and Natural Resources Department will run the program, and we're going to be underwriting the program at the New Mexico Finance Authority. And the types of things that you can do with this is energy efficiency audits. So you can see where you can have some cost savings, you can do upgrades and retrofits, and just lower the overall consumption of energy in the building. By doing this, you not only have energy savings, you have cost savings, and you have a building that ultimately is going to last longer. I mean, it's been a lot of studies have just shown that, when you build sustainably from the ground up, it might cost you a little more money up front, but in the long term, you're going to save on operations and maintenance. And even with existing buildings, that's going to be the case. There's just a lot of energy losses in existing buildings, particularly if they're older buildings. Next slide, please. And so the next one I want to talk about really is our flagship program at the New Mexico Finance Authority. It's our Public Project Revolving Loan Fund. And with this one, we do have the ability to assist a wide range of public entities in accessing the capital markets at low or below market interest rates. And we can do a wide variety of projects in here, infrastructure projects. It could be any of water projects, water system upgrades, public buildings, hospital, healthcare facilities, uh, electric and broadband utilities, quality of life projects, all these sorts of things that we can do this, and we can provide subsidized rates as well. And it's a great program. It's been around for a long time. Like I said, it's overseen by that. One of the biggest benefits for the program is that any borrower can receive our public project revolving funds AAA rate interest rates, regardless of the borrower's credit or size. And we have our approval includes a 90-day interest rate cap. We don't have any fees, and that's because the Finance Authority will absorb the underwriting, rating, and other issuance costs, and produces the official statements, resulting in savings of time, effort, and cost to the borrower. We accept applications monthly, and if you're going to borrow more than 1 million, in the past, we used to have legislative authorization, but due to recent legislation this past session, I mean, there's a suspension of that legislative authorization. So that'll even save more time if you want to, if time is of the essence in getting your project. So that's another good thing to that. But in addition to the low triple A interest rates, clients with median household incomes below the state's MHI may receive disadvantaged entity funding, and clients with an medium household income between 80 and 100% of the state MHI may receive a 2% interest rate, and clients with an MHI of less than 80% of the state may receive a 0% interest rate. So those are all incentives for that. There are some caps, when you're getting the disadvantaged funds, like loans on equipment, you can get up to 150,000. But if you're doing infrastructure and building loans, you can get 10% of the PPRF loan and disadvantaged funding up to 500,000. So clients are limited to about 500,000 of disadvantaged funds per fiscal year. So that's a little bit about the types of programs we offer. Eligibility, it's public entities, tribes, charter schools, hospitals, you name it. It's a wide variety. And one thing before I get into the energy and conservation and management divisions, tax credits they have, I also briefly mentioned the Solar Access Solar Fund that will be standing up here in the near future. And again, that's $20 million. And I mentioned that we also have the Opportunity Enterprise Act, and this act was amended in the 2024 session. It was created in 2022, but it supports workforce housing and expands the membership board. But part of this is there's Opportunity Enterprise for commercial spaces and Opportunity Enterprise for housing. And so those are two programs that have recently been stood up, and we're having a lot of success early on. And those are other things that you can look for in the Main Street projects as well. So let's see. Can we go back a little bit to the other slide of the energy conservation? And this is a lot of these tax credits came about back in 2007. Actually, when I was the energy director back then, I think that 1 year alone, we were charged with helping provide the technical assistance on 13 different energy efficiency, renewable energy, and manufacturing tax credit bills back in that time. And since that time, a lot of these tax credits have been going on into the future. Like two notable ones are the solar market development tax credit and the sustainable building tax credit. The renewable energy production tax credit just allowed massive amounts of wind power and solar power to be constructed in the state. And then, of course, the advanced energy equipment tax credit as well. So there's all sorts of programs. There's a lot more than this that's available. And I would encourage anyone to look at the Energy, Minerals, Natural Resources Department's Energy Conservation and Management Division's website for more information on this. I won't speak too much on this because they're the subject matter experts. But as you can see from this slide over here, there's a number of programs that are available here for use across the state. And I'd encourage everyone to look at that because there's also some ability there to save money and really provide for economic development in your local area and save some money. Next slide, please. And so these are just some resources that you can have at the Finance Authority on the Energy Efficiency Revolving Loan Fund and on PPRF. If you also go to our website, you can find more information on the Opportunity Enterprise programs, or even the Water Trust Board if you have some water projects or wastewater projects, or if you have colonias in your area. We also have programs for that. And, if there's anything on venture capital, we also have those programs as well. Like I said, we have 25 programs. There's a lot of activity going on there. We're moving billions of dollars every year across the state. So that's one to look at. And again, just look at the Energy Conservation and Management Division websites as well, and you'll find a lot of information there on tax credits as well. And with that, I don't know if you have anything to add, Cherise, but I know you can't really talk because recovering from whatever illness that was, that virus, but
No, thank you. Thank you for carrying that lift. I appreciate it. But other than that, I think we are definitely ready for any questions if anyone has any.
it was a lot of information in a short period of time, so hopefully it wasn't too overwhelming. But the bottom line is you can all just contact any of us. We'd be happy to provide assistance, whether it's for a planning grant or any other sort of thing to assess the community's needs, or if it's a water project, energy efficiency project, a renewable energy project. Another program that we've done recently is, we did team up with Secretary Black and Deputy Secretary on just getting the site readiness bills implemented as well, so that we could expand our public project revolving fund and make those available to rural electric cooperatives, and just make it so that any entity that's wanting to invest in New Mexico can have the opportunity to have the infrastructure ready for them. So there's not a whole lot of time spent on getting approvals. I think if anybody who's built infrastructure knows, the biggest thing is not just in the planning and the financing and the development of the projects, really getting the permission to build them in the first place. And so some of those bills are really going to help go a long way toward making that better for economic development across the state. And with that, that's it, unless there are any questions.
That was so great. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute.
It looks like we have a question from Michael.
No, I was just clapping.
Oh, you were clapping. Okay, sorry about that. I thought it was a hand raise. I didn't see it, but
No, it was great. I was I got a lot of good information about that. I didn't know about a lot of those programs.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing is just really getting the word out, the outreach on it. There's a lot available, but bottom line is New Mexico really is a leader in clean energy. It has been for a long time now, and we've set up a lot of things that have been unique in the United States. For instance, the Renewable Energy Transmission Authority was one of the things that came about in 2007, and we've had some massive success with that, and getting massive amounts of renewable energy developed across the state for in-state use and for use in other states. So there's just a lot of things going on, and a lot of people don't know about it. But ultimately, there are programs that can help the local communities. That's really what we're here for, is strengthening and building the infrastructure in New Mexico and providing economic development. So a lot of opportunity when it comes to renewable energy and building energy efficient buildings and things of that sort. So with that, just want to thank everybody for the opportunity here to present today. And I know it's a lot of information, but like I said, we have the technical assistance available if you need it. Be happy to provide it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, we'll sign off, and I really appreciate everyone for joining us today.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
I just wanted to ask if anybody wants any of the slides that I had, please feel free to, send me a message. I'm happy to send it over.
Oh, great. If you want to send them to me, Michael,
Sure.
I'll bundle them with the video.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Okay. You guys have a great day.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, baby.